We're recording.
Why, hello, everybody. This is the Glasses Podcast, and we have a guest here that doesn't wear glasses. Dominic Talks Movies. Tell us about your channel, man.
So my name is Dominic. I run the channel Dominic Talks Movies. I obviously talk about movies. I do things like reviews, rankings, and that sort of stuff. So if you like that kind of stuff, then definitely check out my channel.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
will be in the link in the description. Future Gavin, you better put this into the description. You idiot.
I always
Yeah.
say that in all my videos. I'm like, link in the description, but then I always forget. And then
Yeah.
You're lucky I was able to remember the last two times we did the podcast on this channel. But yeah, today we're doing our top 5 Disney films. We're all here doing this, and yeah, let's just do
jump
this.
right into it. Yeah.
Since you're the guest and guests always have to go first, that's a rule for some reason. What's your number? What's your number 5?
Okay, so my number 5 is the original Bambi. Believe it or not, this was like one of my childhood movies, especially from when I was like really little. This is like a movie that I would watch all the time when I was really, really young. And I just have a ton of nostalgia for it. I honestly think it's quite a good movie still, but I think overall, mostly it is the nostalgia factor that makes it on this list. And honestly, I think like I rewatched it not that long ago, and I think it still holds up pretty well. I still liked it quite a lot. And so, yeah, that's basically it.
I haven't seen Bambi in a while, but I remember it kind of being a bit drawn out. But I guess I got to see it again. But yeah, going old school, I like it. So,
So
critic,
the golden
also a
age.
guest on this YouTube channel. What's your number 5?
Wait, I just want to say one thing about Bambi. So I feel like the golden age aesthetic is more about like, you know, big, atmosphere, gorgeous 2D animation, less about like story. So if you like that kind of aesthetic, that's where you're gonna have more of the like old movies on your list. But if you like more of the modern aesthetic of like character-driven narratives, huge, final fights.
You will not get out of the revival era.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, exactly, right? So yeah, my number 5, speaking of that, is it's actually Sleeping Beauty. Now, I really really love this film. I do have a lot of nostalgia for it. I'm not gonna deny that. But again, like I still think there are some absolutely fantastic elements to it. The colors in this movie are absolutely gorgeous. Best out of the Silver Age, in my opinion. The animation is amazing, and then it includes probably the best Disney scene of all time, which would be the rose pricking your spindle scene. And oh my
It's probably
god,
the most iconic. And Maleficent as a villain is like when you think of just pure evil, Maleficent pops up.
yeah. And I was really sad because that was the one Silver Age movie that originally, when before we made our video, it was very low on your list, and I was so sad. Dominic, what about you? What do you think about Sleeping Beauty?
I honestly really do like Sleeping Beauty, and I was considering putting it on the list because it's definitely an honorable mentions. Probably would be my number 6, but I think the nostalgia for Bambi was really what made that my number 5.
Mm.
But I do really love Sleeping Beauty as well.
All right, well, I'm happy.
Yeah, I guess I'm last. I'll just give the honorable mentions to Aladdin, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, which I actually started liking more recently, and Lilo and Stitch. But my number 5 is The Jungle Book. I am the biggest Silver Age dork you will ever meet. There is no one who loves the Silver Age more than I do. I think it's the best Disney era. Yeah, I don't care. Sure, the Renaissance is great, but I don't think there's a bad Silver Age film. I think it's incredibly underrated. And just, I love The Jungle Book. It's the Bare Necessities. That is just such a great song. And the whole film is just, I don't know. I just love The Jungle Book. It's a classic. It's a film that it's just this animated movie you have to see for yourself. And just, I love
Yeah,
Nice.
I do find The Jungle Book very underrated. When I started the Silver Age movie, that was the one I was most excited to see because it's so fun. I have no nostalgia. I don't even think I saw it before the ranking, but I totally agree. It's a very, very good film. It's definitely not top 5 for me, but I can totally see, again, if you like that fun kind of happy-go-lucky aesthetic, I can totally see if it would make your top 5.
Yeah, nice.
Dominic, do you want to do your number 4?
All right. So my number 4 is The Jungle Book. I do I do also really love this film. I also agree that this era of Disney, I love the aesthetics and the animation of this Disney era, and I just really love The Jungle Book. It's super fun. I love the characters in it, and I just honestly have a blast every time I watch it. And I do want to point out that I think the Jungle Book remake is probably the best of the Disney remakes, but I do like the
I mean, that's not
original.
saying much, really. I mean, sorry to
Yeah,
interrupt, but it's not.
no, yeah, it's not saying much, but I do like that one a decent bit, but the original is definitely better, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that the remake was good. It doesn't really capture for me the fun of the original. Like when I
Mhm.
first saw the remake before I saw the original, and so I saw the remake, it was kind of dark, it was serious. There were tinges of fun, but it was more of like a, a serious, like dissection of the forest. And it was good. I liked it, but the original was just a lot more fun for me.
Exactly. And the thing is that even though the CGI is really great, that's really like one of the only things I like about it. Really, it's not like there's much more besides the fact that it's throwing money at the screen. The
Mhm.
Jungle Book had actual passion. Part of the reason why, because Walt Disney actually worked on the project. It was unfortunately his last project, and then Disney kind of tanked a bit. But it's just the Jungle Book just kind of the Silver Age for me just shows Disney putting passion into their projects, as well as of course the Renaissance, the Golden Age, and I just feel like those old eras is when Disney just put passion and cared about their work so much.
Hmm.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right, so my number 4 is going to be from the revival era, and it's going to be Zootopia. So Zootopia is a movie I feel people see it once and then they have an opinion of it and then they stop. But I saw it once, I liked it a lot, but then I rewatched it and you just catch all these brilliant dialogue. It's such brilliant banter between Nick and Judy. It's insane. Like there's this one thing where they're like, you're a really articulate fellow. It's so great to see that something like it's nice to see someone who's not so patronizing. And it's just the subtleties in the Black Lives Matter and all the obviously the race relations with that movie. It's just so brilliant and God, it's just such a fun movie too. I really like Zootopia. Yeah, it's easily top 5.
I mean, I like it. I think it's good, but I thought the twist villain was embarrassing. Like, oh,
Absolutely.
the villain and the twist is just, it's embarrassing. I don't know. Oh,
That is the worst twist villain, easily.
oh yeah,
Because
for sure. It is, of
even the twist villains that I didn't like Callahan, like he was a bad twist villain, let's be honest. But I still liked he was still intimidating. Like at least he was intimidating. This sheep, I'm not intimidated at all. I'm like,
course.
really? You're
The thing is that she's not that scary. She's like not that much higher than my chair arm. I mean, she's probably shorter, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. My number 4 is Sleeping Beauty. I actually didn't like this one very much the first time I watched it, but once I watched it again, I really started to appreciate it more. The animation is debatably Disney's best. The score is amazing. I love the fairies, and I think that just Maleficent, she is just evil. She is pure evil. And I rewatched it recently when we did our Silver Age ranking, and I absolutely love it now. It's my second favorite Silver Age movie. You'll see another one on this list. I'm pretty sure you guys already know what it is, but I just absolutely love this movie.
Nice. Yeah, I do really like the animation in Sleeping Beauty. So is it my turn for number 3
yeah,
now?
number 3.
Yeah.
All right. So my number 3 is, well, to be honest, I don't even know if this is controversial, but I feel like it is. My number 3 is Hercules.
Oh, that's
Um,
pretty controversial.
I
Depends
don't,
who you ask. Depends who you ask.
yeah. I think it's a pretty like here and there movie. There's like a bunch of people that really like it and a bunch of people that really hate it. But I'm one of the ones that really likes it. I honestly couldn't even really tell you why. I just like love watching this movie. I watched it for the first time in like 2 years ago in like English class or something, and I really loved it. It was kind of weird, but I don't know. It's something about that. And then also the fact that I'm Greek and like all that kind of Greek god stuff is pretty cool to me. And so
Yeah. I
I don't
don't
know. I
think
think,
anyone that even dislikes it can deny how great Hades is as a villain. Like
yeah,
he's so likable and unlikable at the same time.
yeah, yeah. And I think just, I don't, everything works for me. It's just, I don't think it's a particularly great movie, but everything just works for me and I just have fun watching it. And so I don't know. I just really like it.
Mm.
I mean, I haven't watched most of the Renaissance films for over a year, so it's like I can't really a lot of these Disney films I haven't seen in a while. So
Hmm.
if I ever like do a ranking like critics gonna eventually do, I will probably rewatch them.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I think Hercules is a movie of really great highs, but the thing is the tonal problems shift a lot. There's a lot of tone shifts in that movie. And while I do really, really like the movie, I think it's very, very good. One of maybe even top five Renaissance, which is really saying something. Uh, I can't say I can put it in the top five just because there's a lot of tonal problems that don't work. I think that there's a couple of characters that I could have done without, especially Phil. I did not care for
Hmm.
most of his dialogue, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely a competent film.
Hmm.
So I'm
So
next, right? I
yeah,
gotta check here. So my number three, yes, The Little Mermaid. I don't know if you guys can see it because my camera's so blurry today, but
no,
Yeah, we can see.
we
yeah.
can see it well
So,
actually.
oh my God, The Little Mermaid. What even is there to say? I watched this for my Renaissance video, which was my first good video on my channel. After 20 videos, I finally did it.
Hey, it took
Um,
me 300. It took me about over 300 videos to make it good. I wouldn't feel bad.
um, it's so wondrous. The animation is gorgeous, probably the best of the Renaissance. It's absolutely so grand, just like all the Renaissance films are. The Ariel is probably the best Disney princess. She has so many intersecting motivations. She's so curious. She has such this naivete about the world. It works so well. I think that all the side characters are really funny. I don't know. I just really love this film.
I mean, I do think it's a really great film. If we were doing like a top 10 or like a top 15, it would probably be on there. I do think there are some flaws, but it's like a lot of the Renaissance I haven't seen in a long time. Like stuff like The Little Mermaid, The Lion King, Aladdin, Hercules. I haven't seen those movies in a while. In fact, I did a ranking a long time ago. No, you will not find it because I deleted it, of course. But it was on there and I watched all of them. Some of them were actually for the first time. And my opinions on that has probably changed a lot. So I got to rewatch them eventually. But my number three is Beauty and the Beast. This is definitely just amazingly made. I think just Belle and the Beast and their sort of chemistry is really great, really well done. Gaston is definitely a different villain for Disney. I think the animation is great. The humor is very clever. All the characters are likable. And besides like the people in the village, of course, but like everyone in like the house, honestly, even the Beast is likable. And just I think it's really great and really well done. It's my second favorite film of the Renaissance, and it's just really amazingly made.
Nice.
So what I like about Beauty and the Beast is it's not afraid to have unlikable townspeople, which is not something you really see often. It's more so that like there's a villain and he attacks the hero and then they win. But here Gaston has the entire village on his side.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Exactly.
It makes the finale so much better. Orich Entertainment, he made a very controversial opinion, even for him, in the Discord server. And he said that Beauty and the Beast, the remake, was better than the original.
Oh God.
I haven't seen the remake, and I have refused to see a lot of Disney remakes just because, let's be honest, most of them suck. But
Yeah.
I just wanna watch it and just look at it and watch it, just so I can completely argue with about it because I can't really. But I'm
Yeah.
He said it had a better third act, which personally, I think the third act in Beauty and the Beast is amazing.
Amazing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. That's like one of the few Disney remakes that I've actually seen, and the original is far better in my opinion.
I mean, let's be honest. Now Disney kind of just wants money, and they know
Yeah.
that they're classic Disney products. Which, let's be honest, that's what most Disney fans, such as myself, like. So now they're just gonna milk and milk until they are done with that, and eventually they'll remake the good revival ones, and then they'll remake the direct-to-video sequels, which we've already discussed. That.
Well,
Fine.
here's the problem with Disney remakes, right? If it's live action, it's very tough to capture the magic, the sense of wonder. I think Beauty and the Beast was one of the few who did it halfway. Like, I do think that like the first act actually does capture some of the magic. I don't know if that's a hot take. Uh, it's definitely worse. 100%, it's definitely worse.
Mm-hmm.
But something like Mulan, even though I probably did enjoy it more than Beauty and the Beast, I still think Mulan did not capture the sense that Mulan was going for in the original. You know, it's a tough thing to pinpoint.
I mean, I haven't seen it because I don't spend $30 on just to watch worst original movie. But it's just like with Mulan, it's just I didn't want to watch it, and it just looks like, from what I've seen from the trailers, it looks like the original Mulan, but just sucking all the fun out of it. That's what it looks like for me. So.
That's pretty much what it is. I mean, I will say the action was really fantastic. Like, of course there's like, you know, the natural, whoa, that punch was so neat, but like the cinematography, the way the camera spun and the choreography, it was actually like, it felt like the next step up from regular action to like Mulan action. I don't know, it was just fantastic.
I mean,
I'm-
you can't top those songs in Mulan. Let's be honest; they're just no matter how many times you remake it, you just can't.
Mhm.
But yeah, I guess it's Dominic's number 2.
Yeah. Okay. So my number two is The Lion King. I love this movie so much, and that's why I hate the remake so much because the original was so good.
I
And
didn't
the
even see the remake. I made sure I tried not to see it
yeah.
because I love the original so much that I just can't. It's in my top 15, and I
Mhm.
just don't want to see it. I just don't.
Yeah.
I refuse.
I highly recommend you don't see it because it really is not good. Even though it's a shot for shot remake, it somehow is infinitely worse than the original. But yeah, no, the
It's
original
so
is
real.
Here's the thing. I have a video planned called hyper realistic versus realistic versus normal, and
Mhm.
it's gonna be dissecting like a lot of animated movies now have hyper realistic backgrounds, hyper realistic characters, and they lose the sense of grandness. In
Mhm.
the Lion King remake, I always thought that it was so realistic. I did not feel like I was on a beautiful adventure like
Yeah.
I was in the original.
Yeah, it
I
felt
mean,
more
I
small
didn't I
scale.
didn't see the movie. In fact, I just watched Nostalgia Critics review on it just to see if it was bad or not. And he's talked about how ugly the landscapes were. And I looked at the images he was showing, and I'm like, this looks ugly. This looks really ugly.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dominic, you were gonna say
I
something.
know. I honestly completely agree with what you were saying. It kind of loses that sense. Like it feels smaller scale in a way when it's more realistic. And I don't know. I love the animated version. I love the voice acting more. Everything is just amazing. The songs are incredible. The animation is quite good. And obviously the story is just phenomenal. I love Scar as a villain. And just really everything about this movie I think is really good.
Yeah,
And
I mean, it's
yeah,
The Lion King. It's the Disney movie everyone talks about.
exactly. Yeah.
Simba's character arc is actually beautiful, like poetic, and it all culminates at the end. It's such a well thought out movie. I don't I don't know if there's something we could say that hasn't been said a million times. It's practically
Yeah,
perfect. I
100%.
honestly can't think of a flaw.
I mean, I think my only sort of flaw with it is that once the hyena what am I saying? Hyenas are done chasing Simba, and when they're with Pumbaa and everything, it does drag. I mean, not really drag, but like you can notice sort of a pacing sort of problem with that. I don't know if it's just me, but it's like you kind of notice how like it was a lot, I mean, more emotional, impactful, and then how it kind of got a little bit slower. But I mean, besides that, it's amazing.
Hmm.
No, I don't think I particularly noticed that. I kind of see what you mean, but I don't know. It just,
Yeah.
I think
I mean,
sometimes
it's
you, I
almost
think sometimes,
impossible to make a perfect movie. Like it is almost impossible.
yeah, okay, that's fair.
True. Yeah.
All right, so my number two is going to be the second revival film on this list. Not expecting to put it this high, but it has to be Tangled. Tangled is so good, guys. Like everything about it is so good. It is probably the most fun Disney movie. I don't know if that's just me, because seeing Rapunzel go from this like timid, shy person to going from like this free person, it's just such a gorgeous transition. And I love the voice acting on whoever made the voice acting there. um, I love Mother Gothel. She's probably one of the best and scariest villains. Um, I really love that Flynn Rider gets it out because he is one of the most free people in the entire universe that we see. So I love that everything is so calculated to come to this incredible movie. Please see Tangled. It is so good.
I mean, I love Tangled. I haven't seen it in a while though. If I did like a top 10, it would probably be in there. But we're doing top 5, and it's like this is Disney we're talking about. They've made so many amazing movies.
Yeah.
Hmm.
My number 2 is The Lion King. Probably the best made Disney movie, but it is not my favorite. And
I wonder what your favorite is.
I mean, don't spoil it for people. But it's like let's be honest, most people know it. I've said it a billion times, but I just won't spoil it for the people that don't know. But The Lion King is it's the closest Disney movie that is probably Disney will probably ever get to perfect, ever. It is honestly quite close to perfection, but it just doesn't get quite there, in my opinion, like I said before. But I still think it is phenomenal. Simba is Scar is a fantastic villain. Was what I was about to say.
Simba, the protagonist, is a fantastic villain.
The animation is amazing. Just the way Africa looks is great. And I'm not talking about the remake, of course. I can't really make that claim because I haven't seen it, but you get what I mean. It's just phenomenally done. The voice acting to the songs, most of the songs, to just everything. It's The Lion King.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't want to commentate on The Lion King because it's coming up. I think I don't want to spoil it, but I'm like, I'm in a corner here because if I say nothing, it'll be a little bit weird. But like, it's coming up. All right, and we only have one movie left, so I wonder what it could be.
So we already know what the placement is.
Sorry.
Yep.
Okay, Dominic, what's your number 1?
Okay, so my number one, surprisingly for me and probably everyone else, is actually Beauty and the Beast. I was not expecting this to be my number one, to be honest with you, but I rewatched it like not that long ago, like not even a week ago. And I honestly really loved it and a lot more than I thought I was going to. The animation is really good, better than I remembered it being at least. The Beast is honestly a pretty likable character once you get kind of through the film a little more.
His transition
Um,
is fantastic.
yeah. Gaston, I love him as a villain. I love how we said before that he kind of has the whole village on his side, which is something that you don't really see that often. Um, and then you got all like the smaller characters like Lumiere, who I love Lumiere so much. Yeah, I honestly think he's pretty funny at times. And honestly, just everything about this story is pretty heartwarming. And just honestly, it's just such a great movie. And the third act is amazing. I just love this movie. And shout out to Ethan Butler because it's his favorite too.
Yeah, Beauty and the Beast. What is there even to say? You know, like it's just it's a tale as old as time. It is. I really wanted to put it in my top 6. The thing is, I'm going off my previous rankings of the Renaissance without rewatching any of the movies. I'm
Mhm.
sure if I rewatched it, it would make it into my top 5. I'm pretty sure if I rewatched it, but I just can't right now, just based on my previous rankings, because I haven't
Yeah.
rewatched it. So
Mhm.
that's why I can't make my number 6, my top 5. But
Yeah,
I'm
that's
sure
fair
it would.
enough. Yeah, that's fair.
So, what's your number one critic? We definitely don't know what it is.
All right. Well, before we say
I
the
can never
obvious,
say what it is. I can never.
oh yeah, we're sure we don't know what yours is, huh?
Not gonna lie, I kind of saw Dominic's coming.
Fair enough.
Before I say my number 1, which of course everyone knows what it is, I just want to throw out a couple honorable mentions. Hunchback. Yeah, Hunchback is definitely an honorable mention. Um, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. So that's probably my number 6. Beauty and the Beast.
Call yourself a
Shout out
Disney
to.
fan.
I'll give a shout out to Beauty and the Beast. Um, Snow White. Snow White is fantastic. It would be the only golden age that even comes close to touching my list. But yeah, it's fantastic. But my number 1 is obviously The Lion King. I was gonna do a cop out, but no, it's The Lion King. Yeah, this is a perfect movie. That's my review. It's the only perfect Disney movie. Uh, it is Mufasa's death is tragic. The emotional beats hit harder on rewatch. They hit harder. The character arc is fantastic. Everything about this movie works so incredibly well. And honestly, I can't think of a single flaw. Like I can think of a flaw with Ratatouille, even though I think it's much better. I can't think of a flaw.
Okay, my number 1. I think you guys already know what it is. It's Sharknado: The Fourth Awakens.
Of course.
A scene where Gil chainsaws all the sharks. It really got to me. Of course, man. Did you think otherwise? Did you actually think it was gonna be something else? What else could I have mentioned, honestly? It's just so important to me. Maybe The Lion King's better made or whatever, but this movie,
Whatever,
it
life
pretty much
is
got me
better made.
better made. But Peter Pan is just it's just a movie that really got me into the Silver Age. It got me into Disney in general. It's just so important to me. It was my favorite animated film for a while until a better movie came. But I just absolutely love this film. It's so fun. It's the most, in my opinion, the most rewatchable film ever made. Yes, I think that it's more rewatchable than Back to the Future. Yes, more rewatchable than the original Star Wars trilogy. Yes, more rewatchable than Ghostbusters, The Goonies. I can go on, people. But I just absolutely love this film. Maybe the Indian stuff is definitely pretty racist. But besides that, in my opinion, it's timeless. Besides, like, some of the stuff with the Indians. And even then, really, the Indians aren't in the movie that much. Like, they're in it for just, like, a little bit of the runtime. So, besides that, it's just a movie I just love.
It really hurts because I think the Indians probably have the best song. So I really hate that it's so racist, but I definitely agree. It's very rewatchable. Definitely not one of the most of all time, but it's very, very rewatchable.
Yeah. I also really love Peter Pan. I would say I think that's one of my 2 honorable mentions, Peter Pan, and the other one would be Fantasia. But I just haven't seen Fantasia in so long that I couldn't really put it on the list. I couldn't justify it. But
Yeah,
yeah.
Fantasia's very, very good. Fantasia is such a weird movie. I would love to rewatch bits and pieces. Definitely not the whole way through. I don't consider the entire product all that great,
Mm-hmm.
but there are isolated moments that are absolute fantastic. The volcano scene, I mean, what a scene, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think
Yeah.
that's it. Gavin, you want to, give your outro?
So that is the video, you guys. That is our top 5 Disney films. Yeah, make sure to like, subscribe. Everyone's channel will be linked in the description, and bye.